Hello peeps and hello peppers and welcome to Film Friday, filmed on Saturday. And yes, I brought you a whale because today I am retelling a film about such a dome-shaped thing. Not a whale, but I didn't find the thing. Because, yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. And if you're new here, welcome. This is a neurodivergent art channel. And on Fridays, or when I'm really tired on Saturdays, I also retell a film with tarot cards. And this is usually a film close to my heart. And like in this time between Christmas and New Year's, as a kid, I have this favorite memory of watching all the Herbie movies while learning to watercolor. And I felt so free and good there. If you have never heard about Herbie, like this is a movie series of the 1960s and 70s. In Wikipedia, they say Herbie is a sentient Volkswagen Beetle. In another article about a similar film, it's also called like anthropomorphic car, like in a way like people, a car with a soul. And today I wanted to dedicate the tarot minutes to actually my favorite part of the series, Herbie Rides Again. Rides, not rises like Jesus, but rides like blum blum, or like really driving really fast. Herbie is a Volkswagen Beetle, as said, and so he's small and chubby, and most people don't think he can do a lot. And by the way, when I was like a preteen, a dear relative tried to buy a vintage Beetle, but then didn't buy it because this Beetle wouldn't last a long commute across the country to work. So, yes, we should be careful what to expect of a Beetle, but Herbie defies them all, and Herbie is clever. And so let's see if the tarot cards give me any prompts to show us what Herbie does. Okay, yeah, a wedding cake in reverse is actually not bad because in many of the movies, Herbie drives into some festive structures and, like, ideally during a car chase, so he or the bad people in the car after him destroy something. And actually, the fortune telling plays a role in one of the movies, but now I can't think of which it is. But anyway, the fortune teller says, well, darkness will come over you all of a sudden. And she sits in a tent. And then suddenly, like, Herbie drives over these ropes, and well, there goes the tent. And the customer says, well, extraordinary. The Knight of Cups. Well, the knight is always moving, stands for moving, and this knight is a little bit goofy, or like a little bit like, yeah, seeing white rabbits can stand for being drunk. Yeah, seriously, someone fills Herbie's tank with alcohol at some point, and then he is drunk. And yeah, I think the good old man in Herbie Rides Again, who only appears in that film, he is also a little bit drunk, but he actually adores the cute old grandma, Mrs. Steinmetz. Of course, Steinmetz is also like a German name that means stonemason. And in case I haven't mentioned that I am of German origin. So I loved Mrs. Steinmetz as well. By the way, I loved the actress Helen Hayes also in this film with Jodie Foster, where Jodie Foster is a rebellious teenager searching for a home. I forgot what that movie is called, but it's still the same good old grandma, and yeah. Okay, anyway, Herbie also stands for movement. He is also a Grandma Steinmetz's mobility. And like, he takes her to shopping. She sort of battles with him a little bit, and also poses like funny threats, like putting him to a used car sale if he doesn't cooperate, but always like in a kind tone. Like, Mrs. Steinmetz doesn't know anything evil, but she lives in a vintage landmark, like in a fire brigade house from 1877 or something, which a city developer wants to demolish. And yeah, the sometimes drunk old gentleman actually turns from a drunken cowboy to a fire engine hero when the question is to chase away this landscape developer. I mean, this movie is from 1977. That means it celebrates his 50th birthday next year, but that also means that my much lamented Reykjavik problem of old landmarks disappearing because of short-sighted developers that was already there in big cities like Frisco. Herbie is done in San Francisco in the 70s or even earlier. But yeah, Herbie and the old man and Granny Steinmetz and her nephew and her sort of, she's something like an adopted daughter, even though she is like legally more a roommate. They are heroes. Very unlike heroes. And yeah, of course, there are some scenes where Granny Steinmetz is sent into panic because actually Mr. Hawk, yes, that's a talking name for the developer, has like really unorthodox methods and like steals Granny's things or has like a bulldozer in front of the house and really doesn't shy back from bulldozing into the house. Yeah, but he doesn't think that like the fire engine hero and Herbie and actually every single beetle in town, because Herbie knows the art of rounding up friends, come to help Grandma. And I actually would also say this is a good film against ageism. Don't underestimate Herbies and don't underestimate grandmas. Yes, this idea to celebrate Herbie came actually when I finished the Puffin Tarot on the weekend and wanted to celebrate my grandparents. And yes, in the end, the good characters stand tall and okay, mermaid cut of dresses was not a thing back in the day, but yes, in the end there is a wedding and Herbie has a ribbon on the hood, and yeah, there is also a scene by the sea where like the nephew Willoughby and the roommate family member start dating and go on an outing by the sea, and Herbie has nothing better to do than chasing seagulls. The Seven of Swords has a lot of meanings. I learned this today when I read tarot, tried to read tarot for someone, but this the main meaning that sticks with me now from the internet is like getting away with things. Like, of course, Mr. Hawk gets away with all kinds of things because he's rich. And of course, for like by the movement and the feet and the eyes, I would actually more like see this character more as a woman. So she doesn't fit into the Mr. Hawk narrative as such, but yeah. Actually, I think Stephanie Powers as the roommate daughter, whatever you want to call her, is a really awesome, strong woman. Nine of Cups here is cheering to the winning. And of course, like in Herbie Rides Again, Herbie has a lot of other inanimate objects that are suddenly animate, like a cable car. Like when I was a kid, I always said, "Mom, the thing with the streetcar," and I'm like also happy that the next generation in my family also says, "Hey, I want to watch the film with a streetcar." Streetcar and a cable car are a mild difference, but actually, when the little children now, to my great joy, said they wanted to see the thing with a streetcar, I started Googling more detailed what a cable car is, and that opened new windows for myself. And like another inanimate object that starts playing has a little bit vibes of this, like but it is a jukebox, but the jukebox has a little bit of an elaborate architecture that I had never seen as such. And let's say this jukebox communicates with people by, of course, playing music because it can't speak with words. So like when someone comes into the house who wants to talk Granny Steinmetz into selling the house, the jukebox plays something like "Don't Trust Him." And yeah, one of my little New Year's resolutions was to say less and oh and maybe script better, but that doesn't always work. And actually, I like the idea that like Herbie and the other machines and the other people, so really actually no animals, turn this fire brigade house into a fortress. And I mean, here the pentacles are often like a symbol of richness. So they are maybe not rich in material, even though, like, of course, in some circumstances it can be considered already rich when you can buy to eat what you want. And when you can have a car, and even when you can live alone in old age with or with outside assistance. Okay, this is all like a more layered problem, but yeah, everybody works together in order to protect the house, to make a fortress, to like participate in the process with their own talents. Like when I read fairy tales as a child, there was also like a mention of 16 Talente silver, 17 talents of silver. So talents could also be a currency or something that has a weight, at least. So cleverness wins over capitalism. And the quality time with Herbie actually taught me how to paint in a way that I still do today. So maybe you want to leave in the comments what's your favorite memory of this after Christmas time or between Christmas and New Year's, or like around New Year's from childhood. Please keep in mind that comments are public. I don't know how to privatize them. Keep them respectful, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.